High above the treetops of Busquet Gardens in Malta, a stone fortress watches over the island. This is Verdala Palace, a summer residence for the president, a place of quiet dignity and sun-baked history. To the casual visitor, it's a magnificent example of 16th-century architecture, a silent giant soaking in the Mediterranean sun. But if you linger after the crowds have gone, if you listen closely to the whispers carried on the wind, you'll learn that this palace is not as silent as it seems. Ask the guards who walk its halls at night. They'll tell you about its oldest resident, the one who never left. They call her the Blue Lady. Our story begins centuries ago, within these very walls. A young noblewoman, the niece of a grand master, was promised in marriage to a suitor she utterly despised. He was powerful, influential, and utterly wrong for her. Her family saw the union as a strategic move, a way to secure wealth and status. To her it was a life sentence. Trapped and voiceless, she found solace in a single, secret act of rebellion, a beautiful blue dress. It was a color that reminded her of the sea, of the open sky, of the freedom she desperately craved. Wearing it was her silent protest, a symbol of the life she dreamed of but was forbidden to choose. As the wedding day approached, her resistance grew stronger. She pleaded, she argued, she refused. Her family, embarrassed and enraged by her defiance, decided on a cruel solution. They would break her spirit. Was dragged up the winding stone staircase to one of the palace towers and locked inside. You will stay here, they told her, until you understand your duty. The heavy wooden door slammed shut, the key turned in the lock, and she was left alone with her despair. Days bled into nights. Her cries for help echoed off the cold stone walls, unheard or ignored. Below, the palace buzzed with life, but in her tower, there was only silence and the slow passing of the sun across the floor. The wind, a constant companion in the valley, howled around her prison, seeming to mock her captivity. One night, a fierce storm rolled in from the sea. The wind whipped and shrieked through the gardens, rattling the windows of her lonely room. Desperation gave her a dangerous courage. She decided she would rather risk death than face the life that awaited her. She would escape. She managed to get a window open, the wild rain-lashed air a shocking embrace. What happened next is clouded by time and secrecy. The official story, the one her family told, was that she fashioned a rope from bedsheets to climb down, but it wasn't strong enough. They say she slipped on the whetstone, her grasp failed, and she plunged to her death in the darkness below. A tragic accident, but other whispers tell a darker tale. Some believe she didn't slip at all. They say that her suitor, furious at her rejection, found her at the window. And in that moment, a helping hand became a forceful shove. Whether by accident or by design, her fall was swift. The impact echoed through the gardens, a sickening thud that was quickly swallowed by the storm. Her family, desperate to avoid a scandal, buried her body and the truth as quickly as they could. The wedding was cancelled, the suitor vanished from the records, and the palace moved on. But her story wasn't over. It was just beginning. Soon after, strange things began to happen within Verdala Palace. Servants cleaning the long, empty corridors would hear the soft, rustling sound of a dress, like silk gliding over stone. They would turn, expecting to see a guest, but the hallway would be completely empty. A maid, polishing a mirror, would see a flicker of movement over her shoulder, the reflection of a woman in a shimmering blue gown, her face pale and sad. But when the maid spun around, heart pounding, there was no one there. The reflection had vanished. Visitors touring the palace started reporting unsettling experiences, especially near the infamous tower staircase. A sudden, inexplicable chill would descend, raising goosebumps on their arms. Some felt the light, cold touch of fingers brushing against their neck or shoulder, a phantom caress that left them frozen in place. The palace guards, the men and women who know its every shadow, have the most chilling stories. Over the generations, many have refused to patrol the tower wing alone at night. They've seen it with their own eyes. A faint, luminous figure of a woman standing at the highest window, staring out into the darkness. She doesn't move, she doesn't make a sound. She just stands there, a silhouette of sorrow against the night sky, as if she's still searching for that escape, for the life she was so brutally denied. They say she isn't a malevolent spirit, not in the traditional sense. The local folklore believes she is a guardian of the heartbroken. She appears to those who feel trapped, cornered by life, or forced into choices they never wanted to make. It's as if she sees a kindred spirit in their unhappiness and wants to warn them, to show them what desperation can lead to.
But her warning comes with a terrible price.
The legends say that if you see her, you must never acknowledge her. If she appears in a mirror, turn away.
If you hear her footsteps, walk faster.
Because if you hear her whisper your name on the wind and you turn to answer, her ghostly influence takes hold. She will gently guide you, her presence an irresistible pull, leading you out onto the palace terrace. She leads you toward the edge, where the view of the gardens below is dizzying and beautiful. She whispers that freedom is just one step away. Just a single, final step too far. So if you ever find yourself walking the historic grounds of Verdala Palace, admiring its grandeur, and you feel a sudden, unnatural chill near the tower, if you think you see a flicker of blue in the corner of your eye, do not stop, do not look back, just keep walking. The ground below has already claimed one bride in a blue dress. Don't give her spirit the company she so desperately seeks. Thanks for joining me on this journey into one of Malta's most enduring ghost stories. If you love tales of history and hauntings, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next exploration into the unknown. Until next time, stay curious.